this is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it's time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John DiNallo. And this podcast, as of 2026, is in collaboration with Cleveland13 News WCTU. So we ask you all to support both us and Cleveland 13. Now, you know, Paul, I was reading your notes for today. I'm sorry I didn't come to rehearsal, okay?
Mhm.
But we have a pretty full show today.
Oh, what, are you implying that we don't always have a pretty full
No,
show
this is
here?
a
No.
really full show. So, I mean, your
Oh,
sponsors really love you for that because, and if people would please just go to the show notes, read who our sponsors are, see the links, we would appreciate it because we've got some really good sponsors, including Paul and myself.
yes, yes, yeah. Oh, we appreciate everything that all of our listeners do for us and Channel 13 and all of our sponsors as well. Um, Thank you for that great introduction, Karen. I didn't mean to pick on you, but come to rehearsal and that's what we won't pick on you anymore. How's that?
Okay, it's
The
fair.
So yes, well, this is What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news podcast. Real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. Sometimes weird. We use weird and strange interchangeably. So don't get upset if you don't like one of those words. Just imagine I use the other one. Uh, Boy, that we're already going off on a
Yes, we
weird
are.
tangent right away. I'm Paul Seaburn, your host. Hopefully, you know me from one of the places I hang out at. I used to be at mysteriousuniverse.org. A lot of listeners and viewers came from there. I'm on Facebook. Please visit me there as well. You get a preview of some of the stories we'll be talking about during the week. I have a website, paulseaburn.com. What else? Well, newclevelandradio.net, of course, our host site. You get all the useful information about our sponsors and about the show there, and also all the other podcasts produced by Karen Hale, the first voice you heard in your ear, or if you were watching on YouTube, saw. Karen is our producer, co-host and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, Cleveland's finest podcasting host. The platform, I suppose those are interchangeable. We'll find out. The Go to newclevelandradio.net where you'll get information on our show and all the other great shows Karen has.
And what
Why?
about Brother's Show? You do another podcast.
Oh, that's right. I have I haven't done it. I've done 2 episodes. It's called only. It could only happen on Earth. Thank you. It could only happen on Earth. So if you came to us from there as well, thank you so much for that. My co-host there is Marcus Louth. Those of you who remember us from Mysterious Universe, Marcus was one of the writers there while I was a writer and an editor, and he's based in England. And we have a similar fun time once a week with paranormal stories, UFO stories, uh, cryptids, monsters, ghosts, strange science, outer space stuff. The out there, the not quite woo-woo kind of stuff. We try to stay grounded and somewhat skeptical, but always looking at it with an eye for having some fun. And speaking of a guy with an eye for having some fun, we also have on the show our other co-host, our color commentator, host of What in the World of Sports with John DiNallo. That's the guy, John DiNallo. Hi, John. How are you?
Hey, Paul, Karen, and audience. I am well. Again, in Florida, and looking forward to having a great show. I think Paul has put together a terrific show, and we even had a little bit of dialogue about that before the show started. But the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So we'll see how the show goes, and see if that's accurate.
Okay.
Pudding. I'm not. Are you a pudding fan, John?
Oh, love pudding, as a matter of fact.
Love
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Oh,
Jello
it's
pudding.
easy.
That's
Oh,
my
it's easy.
favorite
It's
there.
easy to. Vanilla's my favorite, by the way. Oh yeah,
Vanilla. I did not
vanilla.
know that. Wow. And I've
Yeah.
known John for over 50 years. We're college buddies. We're fraternity brothers. We mention that all the time. I did not know that after 50 years. Vanilla's your favorite pudding flavor. Karen introduced us by asking what we were going to be talking about today, and I still haven't gotten to that, have I, Karen?
But you haven't.
Well, let's see. Oh, the full slate includes a Bumpy tooth whitener from Japan. You'll find out what that means when we talk about it. A chimpanzee having a tea party. Ooh. How a salad led to a world record, and also how lawn bowling led to another. We have a Rubik's Cube for snack lovers. We have a bird who actually knows how to get to the emergency room and the reason why he was there. We've got some slithery dating advice from India. And for you Star Trek fans, the Star Trek captain with the heaviest metal. We find out what that means when we talk about it on What in the World. And let's get right to it. So the first story comes from China. So the Chinese scientists work on lots of, we got to get our photo up here while I'm thinking about it. There's our logo once again, and a copy of the cover of my book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien, available on Amazon.com, also through paulseaburn.com, my website. So these Chinese scientists work on weird stuff. You know, sometimes they have more freedom, we'll call it that, than scientists in other countries around the world. So they're working on teeth whitening formulas that are way beyond anything that we're working on in the United States. And they've developed a prototype teeth whitening powder, not a paste, but a powder that is activated, get ready for this, by vibrations from an electric toothbrush. And they say that it won't harm your tooth enamel. So apparently you sprinkle it on your electric toothbrush, although you should turn the toothbrush off first before sprinkling the powder on, or your bathroom will look like the Summit does after LeBron James throws all his powder all over the place before a game. He still does that, John. You know, after 20 some years.
Yes, he does.
Thing.
Yeah,
that's
his trademark move. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah. Well, but, maybe this will be ours. We'll get some of this tooth whitening powder here. So
okay, sure. Let's find out about it.
So once you use this stuff, allegedly, you'll be blinded by the light of your teeth. Now, John, my trivia guy there, Blinded by the Light was a song by what band?
Manfred Mann and the Earth Band.
Manfred Mann and the Earth Band, that's right. Did you know that was a cover? They are not the originators of that song. That was a cover. Who was the original artist who had that on his first album?
Is none other than Bruce Springsteen.
The boss. That's right. Yeah, very good. Oh, John's hot today. Whoo. Okay. So Blinded by the Light. Now, it has to be an electric toothbrush. Oh, here's a picture of, look at this lady. Yeah, speaking of being blinded by the light, wow, she's got some pretty nice teeth there, but they could become whiter with this powder. So it has to be an electric toothbrush to get the right vibrations. However, 4 out of 5 Chinese scientists that were surveyed said that if you don't have an electric toothbrush, what you should do is put it on a regular toothbrush and drive around, and the bumping vibrations should help you.
That seems a little counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. I'm not sure what even that means, John, but if you say so. Here's what I think. I think that if we could do that in Cleveland, Clevelanders would have the whitest teeth in the world, because we've got so many potholes to be bouncing through. And
yeah, very much so. Yes.
Oh yeah, we'd have beautiful white teeth. So they conducted all of their tests not on human beings. They did some on human. They conducted the majority of their tests on mice. Now, I don't know how mice get stains on their teeth. I don't know. Are they eating blue cheese? Really blue cheese, or I couldn't figure it out unless maybe they're mice that are trapped in the basement of a Starbucks, and they go up at night and they eat coffee beans or something.
Well, let me ask you this, just in general, Paul.
Sure.
Like, how many teeth do mice have? I think every time I see a cartoon or something, a rendering of a mouse, I should say, he has like one tooth in the middle. Do they have several
Like a
teeth? I'm
chipmunk.
just curious.
Yeah, okay, everybody out there. So obviously, we just found out that John gets a lot of his scientific information from cartoons. Uh,
Well, that is accurate also. That is accurate.
you've never been face to face with a mouse? I'm shocked.
Well, yeah, I guess I have, but again, I don't really look into their mouth or whatever. So that's why that much, that's why it never gets that much
Oh, you
attention.
what? You look in the
I have
other
that much
end? Why are
attention
you
to it.
looking in the other end, John? It's
No, I'm just looking to get the mouse if he's in my house out. That's what I'm trying to
Yes,
do.
I agree.
Get the mouse out of the house.
I don't know. I don't think they have 32 teeth to answer your question. I'll have to look. Once in a blue moon, I get to use an old expression. I get a mouse in my crawl space, and the lovely Donna asked me to trap it. But I've never really looked at either end of the mouse. I pretty much just put them in a bag and donate them to the mouse recycling program in our beautiful city.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Leave it alone. It's a good move. That's a good move. So, but while we're talking about mice, unless they're in a cartoon, how do mice use an electric toothbrush? That's the part that I couldn't figure out. In order to use this whitening powder, um, maybe if they have giant teeth like the cartoon mice and hands like Mickey Mouse has. I think he has enough fingers that he could hold an electric toothbrush. How many teeth does Mickey Mouse have? Come to think of it, I, now I'm trying to
I think we
imagine.
can see his teeth.
Yeah, I don't have a. I used to have a Mickey Mouse doll in my collection up here, but I don't seem to see it. Okay, so you know, well, we've already gone off the deep end here. Did we have tooth whiteners when we were kids? I was trying to think back, other than Crest or Ipana or those uh, toothpaste that we had. Did we have anything that whitened our teeth?
Unless they were within the toothpaste itself, I don't think so.
No, I don't remember either. Uh,
By the way, Mickey has no teeth in the pictures, just a smile.
just a smile. Isn't
Wow.
that
Okay.
interesting? Ah, boy, I wonder what if the Disney people know something. Maybe Mickey had bad teeth and he had them all pulled before. No, how about Minnie? No, forget it. We don't
No,
need
no, Goofy's the only one with teeth.
Goofy. Go figure. Go figure. Goofy has teeth. Um, the When we were kids, we I don't think we had tooth whiteners. I think if you wanted white teeth, you ate paste. Um,
Oh,
Oh,
oh
yeah, remember
no.
those kids? Those kids, I bet you they ended up with really white teeth, and those they probably grew up to be politicians. So uh,
Oh,
the
I'm leaving that one alone too.
we'll leave that one alone. Okay, I don't know if monkeys use if they get stained teeth either, but that's a good segue into our next story here. So regular listeners of the show know how much I love monkeys. When it comes to the animal world, monkeys are my favorite critters. Uh, and chimpanzees are my favorite monkeys, and that includes bonobos. Bonobos are like the hippies of chimpanzees of the monkey world. If you get a birthday card and it has chimpanzees on it, if they're wearing tie-dyed shirts, that they're bonobos. They're not chimpanzees. That's how you can tell. Um, so so this story is about bonobos. So there's a bonobo. His name is Kanzi, Kanzi, and he was in an experiment. This is not one of those bad monkey experiments. This was a good one. The scientists were trying to determine if he had an imagination like people. And the way they did it was they set up a tea party for him with little plastic dishes like your little sister had when or your daughters or granddaughters have, or sometimes grandsons. I don't want to be accused of anything here. So they set up this tea party and they pretended to pour tea and beverages and put food on the plate to see if he would figure out that there was imaginary stuff in there. Here's a picture. This is not Kanzi, but this is an incredible simulation of a chimpanzee making tea for himself. So the they found out that not only did Kanzi recognize that there was invisible tea in the cups, but sometimes they didn't even put the cups or the pots out there. They would just pretend they were using cups and plates and teapots, and he went right along with it. Now that in itself is pretty impressive. Um, however, I think I'd be even more impressed. This would be like a Planet of the Apes moment if he held up his pinky while he was drinking the imaginary cup.
Okay.
They offered him decaf tea, and he even did the universal sign. No, 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 decaf. But the biggest, I'd be most impressed is, they gave him, what did they give him? They gave him like imaginary grapes to eat with the tea. And I'd be impressed if he took the grapes and threw them against the wall and started demanding scones and, all that stuff that you're supposed to eat, biscottis, the things you eat at tea parties. Now, bonobos, interesting thing about bonobos, they mate for life. They have one partner and they mate for life. Kanzi though reconsidered because he said, if his bonobo wife offered him imaginary tea, he might consider an imaginary divorce. Yeah, he obviously wants some real food. So I thought they should at least make this experiment updated for the 21st century. So I would like to see them have Kanzi go to an imaginary Starbucks and stand in an imaginary line in front of an imaginary barista, and then have the imaginary barista screw up his name on the imaginary cup. And see what he does when the barista says, "Is there a Kwanzaa here? Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa?" See if he answers. I don't know. It's but anyway, so congratulations, Kanzi, on being a very imaginative bonobo. Now, we love talking about world records, so I got a couple world records for you. Sports oriented, John, so be ready.
Okay.
So this first one comes from Australia. This is one of my favorite stories. I think we've talked about this lady on the show before, and you'll understand why. Her name is Mona Wiggins, and Mona recently celebrated her 105th birthday. That's a picture of Mona right there.
Wow.
She celebrated her birthday by playing lawn bowls. That's the name of the sport in Australia. She says she plays twice weekly at the senior living center where she's at when she's not busy playing darts, putting on the golf green, or doing her own weekly grocery shopping. 105. Yeah, isn't that impressive, Karen? 105 years old, still playing games and grocery shopping. She says the toughest part of lawn bowl is when she has to bend over to push the other people out of the way when they fall over and can't get up. And she wants to bowl. She wants to bowl. It looks like bocce, John, doesn't it?
It does. At least the balls do. Yeah.
Balls look like bocce balls. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
you play bocce. I heard when you play, you get winded just rolling the balls. So I don't
No,
know.
that's not true. I don't know who's
No.
spreading that rumor.
Oh, do you stay in? Do you do exercises during the off season to stay in bocce shape?
Oh, you have to be. In our league, it's very, very competitive, and you want to have a team that's going to be representative. I mean, just from your own teammates, and again, the opposing team members that are in our league, it's very, very competitive. I'll leave it at
Very
that.
competitive. So this isn't a sport where you would need a caddy. You have to carry your own balls and everything.
Oh, absolutely, sure, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, Karen, leave that one alone. All right.
I am.
Good.
So what's her name again? Mona. Mona, not only is she physically fit at 105 years old, she can score her age while playing. So that shows that she has the mental capacity to cheat at bowls because I'm not sure that she can really score. I don't know how they score in bocce. But she says she has no secret to a long life. They ask her, I do. I have a secret to a long life. My secret to a long life is never accepting a lifetime achievement award because that means you're done, right?
That's right. Yep. You
That's
can
true.
it.
Yeah.
How do you top
Okay.
that? Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Now, this is the best part of this story about Mona. So she lives at this senior center. She's 105 years old. Her daughter lives there too. Her daughter is 81.
Oh,
Wow.
Think about the pressure this poor girl is under. Here's her
oh.
bowling, playing darts, going grocery shopping, and then everybody looks at her. Well, what did you do? Your mom's out there. Not only is she bowling, she's standing on one leg and she's singing Waltzing Matilda. You know, what can you do, kid? You
Yeah.
know,
Wow.
I would have gone someplace else. I'd live someplace else. Uh, so I think we talked about her once, maybe when she was 104 or 103, still doing all this kind of stuff. But welcome back, Mona. Glad you're still with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So John and I did before the show, we were talking about we are participants in an annual trivia contest sponsored by the Alumni Association of our college, John Carroll University. For those of you who are coming in from the Cleveland area. So here's something. This won't necessarily help us in that trivia contest, but this will help you if you're in trivia contest at your favorite bar or tavern. Do you know why they're called guinea pigs? John, do you know why they're called guinea pigs?
Boy, you know what? I'm going to say that I don't have an answer, unfortunately.
Karen, how do you?
You have no idea.
Well, I'd give you a hint that has nothing to do with the country of Guinea, and it had nothing to do with them being pigs because they're not pigs and they're not from Guinea. Turns out there's two answers to that are accepted. One is that guinea pigs were brought to Europe via a West Africa shipping lane that went past the country of Guinea, which is on the west coast of Africa. So it kind of they adapted the name that was the Guinea route. And even though the pigs didn't come from there, they said, well, those are animals from Guinea animals, and they called them pigs because they look like they're built like little pigs, and they squeal and they grunt. Um, John, I think we saw Squeal and Grunt open for the Animals once. Did you?
I'm going to have to go to your strong memory on that, Paul, because I really don't remember that.
Squeal and Grunt, yeah, that blinded by something else, by the sound, I guess, was their big song. So this is about Zoe Hearn. This is another world record. Zoe is a little 13-year-old girl in California, and she has a guinea pig. She has a gray and white guinea pig. His name is Cora, and she taught Cora how to jump. Here's a picture of Cora jumping right here. We're going to talk about this. Cora recently set a Guinness World Record for guinea pigs. Who knew there was a guinea pig category for the highest bar jump by a guinea pig? Now, that's not in a bar, but jumping over a bar. This little guinea pig jumped 10.5 inches high. The bar was set at 10.5 inches, jumped over, never touched the bar, didn't knock it off, landed on a nice soft towel on the other side.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
What did he
Yeah.
do after that? There was a cash prize. He grabbed the cash prize, ran to the market, got some roast beef,
Yeah.
drank a bunch of water, and went wee all the way home. Where's
Ah.
that deserves a horn? I forgot to take my horn out there. Oh, it's stuck. My horn got wrapped. You know how things get caught in cables in your drawer? The cable was like a snake wrapped around my horn. I couldn't get it away from it. So there's Cora jumping away there. She trained it. You can see how she trained it. Hanging above the bar is a piece of lettuce. Apparently, it's
Ah.
yeah. Which I think would technically make this a salad bar jump.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a technicality.
Exactly. So the or I was thinking if this is a guinea pig performing the record. Maybe they should change the name to the Guinea World Records. But I don't think they're interested in that. However, I'm not impressed because I've been to New York City. I've seen rats in New York City that can jump while holding a slice of pizza and smoking a cigarette. So,
Oh,
they're big rats there. They're big, they're smart, they're tough. Don't mess with the rats. And I was thinking, I've never had a salad that I would actually jump for. Not even 10.5 inches.
yeah.
Certainly not a lettuce salad. Maybe a good potato salad, but not a lettuce salad. I didn't. John, do you jump for salads?
No, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, you're a meat and potatoes guy. That's
Yeah, I mean, salads are
yeah.
important, but like I said again, they're not a top priority for me.
They're important. They're important. If your wife orders it, then they're important.
Well, yeah, if I'm at dinner with my wife, she's going to want to say, "Where's your salad?" or "Where's your vegetable?"
Yeah, and then you have to wait. You have to wait until they're done. Anyway, I don't want to get you into trouble, and I'll certainly get myself into trouble.
Okay, good. That's a good idea, Paul.
One thing bad about potato salad, eat too much potato salad, and it's hard to jump for anything. Uh, so
True.
let's get back to some human records here. So this one comes from Mexico. Guy by the name of Enrique Zapata. Enrique Zapata. He's in Querétaro, Mexico. I don't know where that's at, but he set a Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in one day. That's in 24 hours. Most pull-ups in one day. This guy, Enrique, did. Here's a picture of him, by the way, somewhere. There he is. Enrique completed 12,345 pull-ups in a 24-hour period. That's
Whoa.
Yeah, 24 consecutive hours, not an hour here and an hour there. 24 hours, 12,345 pull-ups. He used a spreadsheet to help chart when he should do them, how often, how to pace himself, so he could conserve his energy. Uh, it would take me 24 hours just to do the spreadsheet, let alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another amazing record.
Well,
Amazing.
it gets better, John. It gets better. So, what do you think this guy does when I heard a rumor that when he's not doing pull-ups, he has his own business. It's called ladderless gutter cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't. Now this is so impressive, but even more impressive, he has set 2 other pull-up records in his career. He no longer owns them, but prior to this, he did the most pull-ups in 12 hours, most for a man, 7,100. 7,100 in 12 hours, and in 8 hours, most pull-ups, 4,949 in 8 hours. That's just beyond my imagination. He's now working on the world record for the thickest calluses on your hand.
Yeah.
My guess is he's probably pretty close to it by now. Look at the lats on this guy. The wings or whatever.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Where does this guy buy shirts? There must be a big and narrow and wide shop where
Yeah, really. Wow.
It's kind of over. I'm thinking he's overusing 2 or 3 muscles in his body
Most likely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see his abs don't look so hot there, but I certainly wouldn't want to mess with somebody who can do 12,000 pull-ups in an hour. So he planned the whole thing on a spreadsheet, and somebody peeked at the spreadsheet to see. And wouldn't you know it, at hour 23, he had written, he said, pretend that you're too tired to finish. The media will love it. So he knew he was going to do it. He knew he was going to do it. Have you ever noticed this record was done in Mexico? We talk about a lot of Guinness World Records, at least for humans. Have you ever noticed that most of them are in other countries and not the United States? John, have you seen that?
I really never thought of it until you just brought it to our attention, Paul, but I guess you're right.
Why would you think that is?
Well, I have no idea.
No,
Karen, can you help us on this one? Man.
well, here's what I think. I think we Americans have no time. We have no time. We have no ambition, obviously. The uh, and the only way we would ever do a pull-up is if you hang a cell phone above the bar. So and then what do you do once you get up there? How do you move how do you swipe? You have to swipe with your nose. Uh, I'd pay to see that. I would pay to see that as a world record. But that's my theory, at least for the pull-up record. Okay, you come to what in the world for strange stories. We've got world records. We also do things like marriage advice. Believe it or not, marriage advice. We've done these stories before. We've got some marriage tips here. This tip comes from India, of all places. So, a woman in India was in an arranged marriage. Apparently, they still do those in India and some other countries. So the poor lady, she's in an arranged marriage. She doesn't like the guy that her parents picked out. So she managed to get out of it. How did she get out of it? She tricked her family into thinking that she turned into a snake. Yeah, yeah. She turned into a snake. Here's the evidence right here. So she left some clothes on her bed. She left a snake skin, a 5 foot long snake skin on the bed, and then disappeared. Now, she also did she apparently pretended to be a snake leading up to it, and she bought a Dodge Viper, because that's what snakes would own. She had a feather boa. But so, anyways, her family actually believed her. Her fiance. He was beyond himself. He was rattled that his girlfriend, his fiance, might be a snake. The family wanted to sue, but it turns out her lawyer was a snake too. So, that I'm having a little trouble with my sound here. Let me try this again.
You.
I don't know. John, say something for me.
Okay, say something.
Oh, there we go. That sounds good.
You got it?
So,
Okay.
so according to the local media, sorry about that. Everybody out there, once in a while we have these technical difficulties, which we'll edit it out later, right? So according to the local media, there were rumors that she was this snake because she'd been behaving like a serpent. And there's actually a mythological being in India that is a shape-shifting woman into serpent being. It's called the Ikadhari Nagin. And I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Ikadhari means one who can take any form at will, and Nagin means a female snake. So I was wondering, how can you tell if a snake is female? John, do you know how to tell if a snake is female?
No, I have no clue. No clue.
But it's real simple. It's like finding out if a mouse has teeth. You got to grab the snake and look right in her face, and if she has pierced ear holes, if a rattle has rhythm, and if she's had her fangs fixed, that means she's a female. Long
Really?
You're going to get in trouble one of these days, sir.
So I'm thinking, if she's a real shapeshifter, why did she waste her time shifting into a snake? Why not shift into a horse, where she could run away a whole lot faster than a snake slithering through the grass? Plus, a horse isn't going to get picked up by a hawk or something or run over by a car. I think about these things too much. Everybody knows that. So
that is true.
So the police conducted an investigation and they discovered that the woman actually had a boyfriend separate from her arranged husband. And when the walls were closing in and they were tracking her down, she released a video admitting to the ruse and notified everyone that she had secretly married her boyfriend.
Wow.
And she wouldn't be returning as a snake or otherwise. So I wonder what he is, if she's a snake, what he might be. Um, or maybe he's a snake. Maybe he likes her being a snake. A kink, one of those kinky kind of guys. Squeeze me, baby, swallow me whole. I could. I have John and I have friends who would pay to see that video too. The anyways, we talk about Rubik's cubes a lot on the show, and usually it's because some 9-year-old boy set a Guinness World Record for the fastest time solving a cube, hanging upside down in a pool, and he does it in like 5 seconds. I can't even get the wrapper off of a Rubik's cube or off of anything, off a piece of candy in 5 seconds. The I can't even anyway. The So this is a Rubik's cube story from Japan. It's not a world record, but there's a company by the name of Calbee, Calbee. This is Japan's leading potato chip brand. So it's like the Lay's of Japan. They're coming out with a line of Rubik's Cube featuring their most popular flavors of potato chips. So here's a picture of 6 of the different Rubik's Cubes in all the different variations of chips that they offer there. Sorry, I'm sure you haven't had dinner yet, John. This is probably going to spoil your appetite.
Yeah, that could spoil my appetite. Yeah, really. Look at that. Wow.
So, they're already working on a slogan to go along with this. I offered my slogan: if you can't beat them, eat them. Because
Okay.
I can't beat a Rubik's Cube, but I know I can eat at least that many potato chips. Um,
Oh, they look like some of them look like they're French fries.
Yeah, the little potato sticks. They're bigger.
Or more potato sticks, I should say.
Yeah,
Right,
they
right.
must be. They've got all different kinds of shapes and sizes there of
Mm-hmm.
these snacks. So I'm thinking, maybe if you eat the potato chips first, it would help you solve the Rubik's Cube better. But then I realized, the best part of having greasy fingers is you can throw the Rubik's Cube farther after not being able to solve it, which is what I would do, or throw it
Good
against.
idea. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. The uh, or worst thing, they said that the worst thing is it's really hard to clean the Rubik's Cube after you accidentally dip it in the onion dip. Uh, the
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, if you're really hungry. So the flavored, besides regular, they also have a potato sticks. You can see those, and a lightly salted. Uh, that's the one I would go for because my blood pressure always goes up when I can't solve a Rubik's cube. So I can
As for
look at,
most people, Paul.
yeah, I can look at the lightly salted part. So if you notice down in the corner, I'll bring up a bigger picture of it. This one is so difficult because it's nothing but potato chip on all 6 sides. So it's almost like having a solid color of
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The I would say impossible to solve, but I break a potato chip, I can't even put it back together, let alone solve something like this. I can't even get the bags open anymore. I don't know what kind of glue they're using on these potato chip bags, but any kind of snack bag seems like you can't tear them open anymore. And don't say I'm getting weaker, John, because I'm working out too. So
No, I
Oh,
believe that you are working out, but I think there are a lot of challenges with packaging, a lot of food packaging these days, not just potato chips, but
yep, you're
other
right.
candies and
I,
things like that. Even bottles of water, in my opinion, are sometimes difficult to open.
exactly. You know what I think? I think they're doing it to distract us from the noticing that there's less stuff inside the bag, and we still pay the
Shrinkflation, yes, yes,
yeah yeah.
yes, we're dealing
So
with shrinkflation.
you take your frustration out on the bag rather than on the company that we've got. I don't know how we went down this rabbit hole, but let's go. Let's move to another animal story. Kind of goes with the bonobo and the guinea pig. Uh, Animals are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. So this story comes from Germany, from Bremen, Germany. A bird had a fish hook stuck in his beak. How did they know that? Because the bird actually walked up to an emergency clinic in Germany. Not only did he come up to the door, it was a glass door. He was actually pecking on the door loud enough.
Wow.
Yeah, people on the inside saw the bird. Now, right, the first thing they thought of, oh, isn't that a cute bird? He must be pecking at his reflection. No, he wasn't. This bird had a fish hook stuck in his, and you can see the picture of the emergency room doctor there, um, taking care of it. They cut the ends off and then they pulled it out once the hooks were off, and they put a little medicine on him and sent him on his way. The bird was fine. They let him back out in the wild. Uh, you know, they let him go without paying his bill. The poor bird didn't have any cash, but luckily he was covered by Blue Cross Blue Jay, which is
Oh, where's that horn?
Okay.
And not only that, the bird was really lucky because they had a specialist on site who had dealt with birds before. He was an OB-GYN.
Oh, that's a double horn.
Yeah.
Double horn on that one. That was a double horn score. So this is a true story. I'm not making any of this up. The ER doctor says he saw the bird outside tapping on the window. It wasn't they thought maybe he was like the Fonz, he's looking at himself and preening and that, but no, he was really knocking on the door. They really think that he wanted to get in there because somehow that bird knew that this was the place to come.
Wow.
They had to call the local fire department. They went out to try to catch the bird, and they were having a difficult. He didn't fly away, didn't run away, but they couldn't catch him. So they called the local fire department. This is true. Called the local fire department, and the fire department brought a special truck out there just for a situation like this. What kind of truck was for a situation like this? A hook and ladder.
Oh boy,
Here we go. Triple horn score there.
that's a triple horn. Absolutely.
So they said that they got the hook out, they put some medicine on him, they let him back into the wild, and they saw the bird fly away. Then he came back to the pond where he got the fish hook, and he proceeded to poop on every single car over there.
Oh, geez.
Because he knew one of those was the guy. And if you're that fisherman who got the hook in that bird, it was a cormorant. A cormorant, that's the name of the bird. In case you want to go and brag to your buddies about the giant bird that got away. It's a cormorant. Give it some credit. Okay. I want to my favorite story of the week. This was a very popular story on my Facebook page. This is you're going to know who we're talking about right away. The original Captain Kirk, William Shatner. William Shatner is 94 years old. He is the original Captain Kirk. Believe it or not, he is working on a heavy metal album. Yeah, I have a picture of an AI version of Captain Kirk playing heavy metal right here. So it's featuring himself singing and heavy metal stars playing the music of Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and Iron Maiden. That's right. Captain Kirk singing the lyrics of those bands.
Oh, that's heavy. Those are heavy metal bands, obviously, right? Sure.
The other band members wouldn't say how Shatner sounds, but they were seen stuffing their ears with tribbles. So, a Trekkie joke for you. Shatner. Now, this is unbelievable. This is not Shatner's first album. He has a number of albums. He once covered Elton John's Rocket Man. And they said after he did Rocket Man, this was the first time they saw Mr. Spock actually fold his ears over. So yeah, it's that gives you an idea about his voice. Kirk's singing was the main reason why he was never assimilated by the Borg, by the way. So John, you're the music buff here. He has released a number of albums. I doubt that you have any of his albums in your collection.
I do not have one. I do not.
Believe it or not, in 1968, not long after, I think that was the year that they canceled Star Trek. In 1968, he recorded his debut album entitled "The Transformed Man." He covered Bob Dylan's. This is unbelievable. Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man. He also covered Lennon and McCartney's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. You know how that sounded. Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Oh,
My Kirk impression there, yeah.
That's Kirk singing it, right? Okay.
Yeah. He had no trouble singing like Dylan because Dylan sounds an awful lot like the way Kirk talks. Then in 2004, he did an album called Seeking Major Tom, where he did collaborations with Brad Paisley, country star Brad Paisley, Peter Frampton, Brian May of Queen, Steve Howe from Yes, John Wetton from King Crimson, and Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple. Can you imagine William Shatner singing with that vast array of talented people?
How did he sound?
I don't know. I remember a long time ago hearing him singing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and everybody agreed that it was pretty bad. But he covered, in this album, he covered Pink Floyd, he covered David Bowie's Space Oddity, and he covered Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, I've never heard Captain Kirk speak fast enough to be able to cover Bohemian Rhapsody. That song must have taken an entire side of an album. Then, if that's not enough, he did a holiday collection of Christmas songs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, in October of 2018, he sang Shatner Cloth is the name of the album. If you want to look it up, he sang with, get ready, Iggy Pop, Todd Rundgren, and Billy Gibson of ZZ Top. I mean, I don't believe it. And then he went on tour. He's actually gone on tour and sang these songs in concert. In one concert, he never recorded this, but he actually sang the song, What Kind of Fool Am I?
Oh my God. Yeah, what kind? Yeah.
Wow.
Easy, Karen. Someone who bought one of his albums.
Oh no.
Unbelievable. I was shocked at how many albums, and that's just some of his albums. I think he has 12 albums total that he has released. The obviously not well known. If John doesn't have at least one in his collection,
I'm going to say, folks, I do not have one.
That would probably be worth quite a bit to add to your
yeah, it would be, I think,
collectibles. Don't tell your lovely wife that I'm the one who suggested it.
No, I'm vowed to secrecy on that.
Okay, well, on that William Shatner story, I am done with my segment of the What in the World news story. That means it's time for What in the World of Sports with John DiNallo. As I said before, John and I met in college, probably on the second day of school. We became fraternity brothers. We've been friends ever since. John knows more about sports and most other things than anybody else I know. So I turn to him every week with the question, with the request. John, find us a sport that fits the theme and motto of our show, real sport, sometimes strange, always funny. And John always manages to find one. He's got an interesting one that you might be a little familiar with this week. John, why don't you talk about it?
I will, Paul. Thanks for the introduction. So our sport this week is somewhat of a mainstream recreational sport among young people who will be very surprised to know that they can go professional with it. The sport is beer pong. Let me explain. Beer pong, which is also known as Beirut, is a drinking game in which players throw a ping pong ball across a table with the intent of landing the ball in a cup of beer on the other end. The game typically consists of opposing teams of 2 or more players per side, with 6 or 10 cups set in a triangle formation on each side. Each team takes turns attempting to throw the ping pong balls into the opponent's cups. Now, if the team makes a cup, that is, the ball lands in it and then stays in it, the contents of the cup are consumed by the other team, and the cup is then removed from the table. Now, the first team to eliminate all of the opponent's cups is the winning team. The game is believed to have evolved from beer pong played with paddles by fraternities at Dartmouth College in the 1950s and 1960s. The first version resembled an actual ping pong game with a net and one or more cups of beer on each side of the table. Fraternities at Bucknell University and then Lehigh University also claimed to have invented beer pong. So again, was very popular in the 50s and 60s and is now still popular to this day. So, as you know, the game is caught on quickly and it is now played at parties, colleges, tailgating parties, and other events. Although typically played on either a ping pong table or a folding banquet table, enthusiasts may create a personalized table for use by friends and visitors. And some companies are making them with sports teams logo. So those are accessible if you want to go out and search for them. Now, the most common cups that are used are the very familiar 18-ounce disposable plastic cups, such as red Solo cups with ridge lines, which can be used precisely to measure the amount of beer to be poured into the cup. So there is a degree of accuracy here to make sure that everything is on the up and up, so to speak. Now, for those of you that are interested in turning pro, there is the World Series of Beer Pong, or the WSOBP, and it is the largest beer pong tournament in the world with a $50,000 grand prize and over 1,000 participants. It has been held annually in the Las Vegas area since January of 2006. And there is also a World Beer Pong Tour. Now, while we recommend that everyone drink responsibly, of course, professional beer pong sounds like a sport for everyone. And if you're in college, training for the pro tour is the perfect excuse for when your parents complain about your grades.
Oh, yeah, right.
Good point.
But I can offer this. It is a very, very popular game. I mean, a lot of times I'll attend parties in the summer and what
Yeah.
have you, and beer pong is always a staple, so to speak.
Definitely, even more so than cornhole. Kind
Yes, yes,
of like cornhole with beer. I apologize
right.
for my voice there. It's I'm fighting off a sinus infection, I think. So we're gonna make it through here though. Well, that sounds good, John. That's I never knew $50,000. There was a check right there for $50,000.
Right, right. There it is.
Those look like happy and somewhat drunk people.
Yes.
The
And it's paid.
the
This check is paid to the drinking, smoking, straight West Coastin. Is that is
good
that?
name. They must have they came up with that before they were drinking, obviously.
Yeah, I would think so.
The wow, unbelievable. World Series of Beer Pong. And then there's a tour. You said there's a tour as well.
Yes, there is a tour, and again, I just think that speaks to the popularity of this sport, so to speak.
Yeah, obviously. The you know, obviously it's a college sport. Now, I don't remember if we participated in beer pong um, as much as these people. We obviously weren't very good at it. We were doing it for some other reasons. Um, but one time, John, I can remember back when we were in school, there was another fraternity that actually challenged us to a game of beer pong. And I think the stakes were pretty high. I don't remember how much money might have been involved, or maybe they were just going to have a beat us up afterwards, whatever it might be. But we had a beer pong competition. Do you remember that?
I don't, Paul. You'll have to help educate me again, as it seems every week.
Well, it was. I do remember that at that time we were probably still freshmen, so we weren't that good at beer pong yet. Beer pong's hard to learn when you're drinking 3-2 beer, which we were drinking back in those days. So John and I tried to come up with ways that we could not cheat, but kind of bend the rules so we might win. And one of the ways we tried to bend the rules was by adding more cups, so we wouldn't have to throw as far. So this is the beer pong one layout we suggest where there were 72 cups, quite a few more, but I think we could reach the first cup on the other side. That was obviously rejected. So then we came up with another idea. We thought, well, if we can't increase the number of cups, maybe we can make the cups bigger. So we got these giant red garbage cans. And, it looked like a volleyball, and we were trying to convince the other frat that that's the way to do it. They didn't like that idea either. So we finally, but John probably came up with this idea because John always comes up with all the good ideas. Basically, he said, well, let's do this. Instead of throwing at the cups, let's eliminate the middleman and get inside the cup. Then we already just pour the beer right into us. Who needs beer pong? Just give us, instead of pouring it into the cup, pour it right into us. Everybody wins. Everybody's happy.
I do remember that now, Paul. Yeah, wow. I had forgotten about that.
Here's
Right.
the two teams. I think we even got some of the girls on campus to get involved with it as well. They're
Oh yeah,
wearing
sure.
our beer cups and drinking the beer. As we always used to say, eventually you get drunk on 3-2 beer. So I think we managed. The real tough
Uh,
part, obviously, John, is how did we go to the bathroom? Because 3-2 beer pretty much went right through you.
oh, that was a given. I
All
have to
right. Well,
admit.
great sport. Professional beer pong. Who'd have believed it? Who'd have believed that there was such a thing? Thank you again, John, for that great sport.
You're welcome, Paul. Thank you.
So that's the end of What in the World of Sports. That means that it's time to take this part down here and move on to everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co-host. Oh, it is the news game that is just taking the world by storm. But people demand it. They demand us. They want us to move it right up front. We said, no, you have to wait until the end for Bluff the Co-host. Why? Because it's such a fun game to play. Because it's so simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones that we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference. Those stories were real. These stories may be real. They may be a bluff. And it's up to Karen, John, and all of you playing out there to decide real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, hands on the buzzer. Let's get right to story number 1. If you've ever wondered what pizza tasted like way back in ancient Rome, a pizzeria in Hungary is recreating what those hungry followers of Caesar ate before there was Little Caesars. There were no tomatoes, mozzarella, or gold medal flour back in ancient Rome, so the pizza chefs used ancient grains like einkorn and spelt, and they helped the dough rise by using fermented spinach juice. Since only the rich could afford pizza, they used expensive toppings of the day, such as olive paste, fermented fish sauce, duck, toasted pine nuts, ricotta cheese, and a grape sauce. Most tasters liked the taste of the ancient Roman pizza, but one person thought it was the first pizza ever that could be improved by adding pineapple. So a pizzeria in Hungary is making ancient Roman pizza from before tomatoes and mozzarella with things like spinach juice, toasted pine nuts, ricotta, duck, and grape sauce. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
It's so odd and it doesn't sound good. So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
So you're referring, the pizza doesn't sound good, not the
Right.
story.
No, the
Oh, okay.
story's great. It's the pizza.
Okay, Karen says it's a real story, right?
No, it's a bluff.
Oh, it's a bluff. I'm sorry. Okay, Karen says it's a bluff. I'm sorry.
It's
John,
a
how about you? What do you think? Real or bluff?
No, I'm going to disagree with Karen on this. I'm going to think this is a real story, and I think that there's always an interest in the past, whether it's food, literature, art, whatever. So I'm going to say that some Hungarians are cooking this up and trying to dish it out to people to see if they would, appreciate what the Romans had many years ago.
Ah, okay. So John says it's real. Would you try it, John?
Um, I'm not sure of that, to be honest with you. I'd have to. I'm more of a visual person. I'd have to see what it looks like.
Oh,
So I'll defer to that. I'll just leave it at
good,
that.
very non-committal answer. Okay, John.
Yeah, very much
So
so.
John says that that's a real story. Karen says that ancient Roman pizza is a bluff. We check with the judges. The judges say congratulations go to John and everybody else who said that is a real story.
very good, John.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you what, Karen. I mean, not that I thought much about this until I just heard the story, but
I
I
don't.
guess it's true. Yeah.
The thing that puzzled me is why Hungary, of all places, that came
Yeah,
up.
well, Hungary's really not that far from Italy, from a geographical perspective, but still, yeah, you would think that would be in Italy, right? That
Yeah,
in the
Hungary's not
homeland,
known for its
But
pizza.
they
people would
were
be,
very
yeah,
hungry.
exactly. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, hurry
Karen,
up.
if you had a horn, you'd have to use it on that one.
Yeah.
All right, scores 1-0. John's in the lead. Let's get right to story number 2. While it seems everyone is drinking energy drinks, a company in Japan is trying to capture a new group of customers with energy bubble gum. They figured out a way to put caffeine and other ingredients of energy drinks into bubble gum and are selling the gum to people who collect Pokemon cards, sports cards, and other collectible cards that used to come with a pink slab of hard, stale, real bubble gum. In a deal with 2 card companies, the energy gum will come in packs of 5 cards and is guaranteed to be soft and chewy no matter how long the cards have been sitting in the store. Parents concerned about children eating the energy gum are being reassured that the packages will be clearly marked for adults only and sold like vapes, energy drinks, and other adult products. The American company that makes Double Bubble bubble gum is in talks to bring the energy gum to the United States, but industry experts think this will be nothing but trouble bubble. Okay, so a company in Japan is making energy bubble gum in little slabs and selling it with Pokemon cards, baseball cards, and other kinds of trading cards. Real or bluff? John, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to think, I should say, that this is a real story. And I can find, you know, the interest that people have of getting energized, if you will, whether it's from a liquid or in this case, a solid, I think is pretty prevalent and pretty common. So I'm going to say it's a real story.
Okay, John said it's a real story. Karen, how about you?
Well, I think you said that it can only be sold to adults. And do adults collect trading cards? So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Karen may have found the hole in the argument there. So
Probably not, but
So John says that's a real story. Karen says it's a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say you are very astute, Karen. That is a bluff, and I didn't catch that when I was writing it. Uh,
Very good, Karen. Yeah, very good.
wow, how about that? Okay, that means the score is tied 1-1. Points are doubled in round number 3. Let's see who's going to end up on top, or if everybody goes home in a tie. While residents in other states complain about possums, deer, and wild pigs digging up their gardens, people living near Los Angeles say their gardens are being rooted up by robots. Specifically, these are delivery robots from one food delivery service that seem to be having trouble with directions. People who haven't ordered anything are finding these autonomous motorized coolers stuck in their gardens, tearing down fences and digging up seeds and bulbs. Some of the robots escape before the company can be called, and they end up running into cars and knocking over people on bicycles. The company is offering compensation in lieu of free and free food, compensation in the way of free food, but nobody wants it because it would be delivered by the same robots. Okay, so people in a Los Angeles neighborhood say their gardens are being dug up not by animals, but by robots, food delivery robots that are lost and stuck in there. Real or bluff? Karen, back to you.
I don't see them being used in Los Angeles neighborhoods. They're usually only like used on campuses and stuff. So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Interesting. Yeah, Karen may have found another hole in that one there. But okay, so Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you?
I agree with Karen on this one. I think it is a bluff. I don't see robots being able to deliver food. And in fact, I've never heard of it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but I think it's a bluff. I don't think it's real.
Go
Okay.
down to University of Akron or Cleveland State. That's how the kids all get their food.
Yeah.
Through with robots delivering,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
Come on, John, join the 21st century here.
It's too much to ask.
Okay, so both Karen and John say that is a bluff, the robot food delivery being stuck in the garden. Let's check with the judges. And the judges say the next time you're in East Hollywood, California, look in a garden and you might find one of the robots stuck.
Wow.
That's the neighborhood where
Huh.
it's happening. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Big problem. Yeah, big problem there. So, well, that means that we ended up in a tie. So both Karen and John go home winners. That means John doesn't have to study his flashcard this week.
That is great news for me
Yeah, you can
and for
go
Annette
out.
for that matter. That's right. Right.
How about that? And congrats to Karen as well. The
Yeah, congrats, Karen.
who never studies anyway. She just knows these things. So
Nothing better to do.
there you go. On that note, we have reached the end of another episode of What in the World. I want to thank Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, our liaison with Channel 13. Thank you so much for everything you do for our show and for all the great podcasts at newclevelandradio.net and also at Channel 13. So please check us out at one or both of those locations. They get all the information about the shows, information about our sponsors as well. And about Yes I Can coaching with Karen. Great coaching service, separate from all the podcasts, but excellent coaching advice from Karen there. I'd also like to thank my old buddy John DiNallo, our other co-host, color commentator, and host of What in the World of Sports. Thanks, John, for everything you bring to the show and for putting up with me once again.
You're very welcome, Paul. That's a lot of fun for me every week.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I agree. I think we all agree. I hope on that note that everyone out there has as much fun listening to the show or watching it as we do putting the show together. It's the reason why we show up here every week on Tuesdays at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, or whenever you listen or watch the show. Without you, there would be no reason to do it. Please, if you follow us on YouTube, either directly or through Channel 13, please subscribe. That's the way we know that you're listening. If you follow me on Facebook and you want to send us a message, or if you find some stories, we have a number of people that send us stories. We always like to acknowledge them as well. So please do that, and have a good time. Have a good time. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you for joining us. Everybody should take at least an hour every week and do something fun. And we hope that this is your fun for the week. So on that note, anything else to add, Karen?
No, we're out of here next week. I just want people to understand we're going to be in 3 totally different cities because you're going to be up here in Cleveland.
Right.
Buddy, John is down in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna be in the state capital, Columbus. So how do you
Wow.
like that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. We are the multi-city. Well, how
we
about that?
will be.
The,
So
through
we're just
wonders
gonna have a
of
grand old,
technology.
yep.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay, everybody.
We'll
See
still
you.
be here. Yep.
Bye
Bye-bye.
now.
Have a great week, everyone.